In the sport of track and field, state champions are applauded as they take their place atop the podium. But it is the legends that are remembered for years to come. On May 14th, 2011, Bernie Montoya went from champion to legend in just 2 short laps.
Still looks like Jeremy McConaughey from Dobson doing the dirty work up front. Cabola. 4:11. Your first from Portland.
Montoya started running competitively as a freshman. Despite his limited exposure, experience on the track ran in the family.
You know, with my brother, I figured, you know, if he was such a good runner, I mean, it has to be some kind of genes or running blood in there, you know.
I mean, Leonard, when I was coaching him, we'd do the workouts, and then later in the evening or in the morning, I'd be driving around town, I'd see him running on his own. He just, from what I understand, Bernie, and what I've seen, Bernie is the same thing. He's just cut from that same mold.
Just looking at his stats and everything, and what he used to do in the state, I wanted to manipulate something like that.
And he was willing to push himself to get there. It did not take long for those around him to notice the potential for greatness in the young runner.
You know, we knew we had something special kind of early on in about middle of the track season when he first started running for us. Since he did not do cross country his freshman year, he did track only.
My times were dropping, and then it was after the regionals, you know, when I took the region championship for the mile and 2 mile, I just started realizing, you know, I can really do some damage in this sport. And it really got me excited that, you know, I was able to compete in state my freshman year.
Bernie would finish 2009-2010 with a 7th place finish in the mile and an 8th place finish in the 2 mile race. It was a huge accomplishment for a runner with so little experience, but Bernie wasn't satisfied.
And I just realized, you know, I can actually work something right here. So I started just training hard with the team over the summer.
Then it's another 1.25 miles to the golf course, 1.5 miles. Do you want to try and make it to the golf course if we go to...
His stamina, his strength is just out there.
Dedication, that same drive, this incredible motivation.
You know, I have yet really to see a chink in this kid's armor.
In the fall of 2010, Bernie took the cross-country scene by storm, winning the 5A title and beating the previous year's champion by 16 seconds. When the track season began, Bernie kept up his torrid pace. He qualified for the state finals with ease and would win the 2 mile race by 8 seconds. Then came the mile, the race that would define Bernie's young career.
Suppose Bernie Montoya closed the door the other night on lap number 8 with a 56. They need to shadow him. Other favorites, there's a mountain top.
The beginning of the second lap, about maybe 150 meters into the second, it was actually the third lap, actually. We were so packed in together, my shoe just was slipping off. It was like halfway gone, and I just figured I'm just gonna kick it off because I'm already struggling, you know, running with this on. So I was better off just kicking it off and just go run than just to keep it on.
I didn't notice anything had happened. We were cheering from him really close to the track, but since he has black socks and black shoes.
His black sock, you know, mimicked the shoe.
I don't know that anybody saw it.
You know, I really got scared because, you know, I didn't prepare for that. You know, you don't really think of that. What if a shoe comes off during the race? But then it happens, and it's like, oh my gosh. You know, I really got scared that, you know, we can lose the mile race, and I was honestly scared that I would lose the race.
With 1 lap to go, pain started to set in.
In the 300-meter mark, the last 300 meters, I felt the burn. I felt it, and you felt the dead skin rub against your foot, and that's what it was a bad feeling right there. Adrenaline just kept me going, and it's pretty surprising what adrenaline can do to you.
Right now, the 4 medals could be Montoya, Firth, Williams, and that might be RJ.
The guys right behind me, and I'm only have 1 shoe. The only way I'm gonna have to win this race, I gotta go all full-out sprint as hard as I can. You know, mentally break the other guy, like he doesn't want to go with me. So In a way, I had to break that mental barrier for the other runner. Just go as hard as you can with 100-meter strides, and the last 200, just hold on. And the last 100, I was holding on.
He's the cross-country champ of the softball. He's the 200-meter champion of the softball.
We saw him going down the finish line, the stretch, and he looked like he was running funny, but he was pulling away. And then at the end, we just saw him being carried off the track. We wondered what happened. Did he pull a muscle? No one really knew. We didn't know until afterward that he'd run without a shoe.
Been doing this for 4 or 5 decades. I've never seen that quite happen. That was the first time.
In hindsight, knowing what had happened, it was amazing how he just ran away the last half of the race.
By the time Montoya had left the track, word of his heroics had spread all over Arizona.
It's funny, the other day we went to Phoenix to get some shoes. I mentioned my name, Bernie, and then, they look at me, "You're Bernie Montoya, the guy who lost his shoe?" Like, really? Yeah. I didn't know the news got out in Phoenix. People are just surprised, like, wow, he won with 1 shoe. And it just leaves a what if, like, what if he had 2 shoes?
If he never ran again, Bernie Montoya would go down in history as a legend just for winning 1 race with 1 shoe. However, he has 2 more years to help put Cebola's program on the map and elevate his legendary status to new heights.
And I don't say this publicly too much, but I share it kind of with coaches and stuff. Kid's off the charts. He should be shooting for, run the Olympics, not just Olympic trials.